Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you to another month of International Affairs being broadcasted from the SATV's Gulshan studio. Today is the 2nd of August 2026. As we move on with the year, there are interesting updates from around the world that we shall be dissecting and discussing for the betterment of the people worldwide and here in Bangladesh, as we are also seen in a part of the Saudi-led coalition against Yemen's Ansar Allah Houthi. Before I drop into the discussions, let me introduce my panel. Here in the studio, I have Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. He is a jurist and a senior politician of Bangladesh. I welcome you onto the program. Alongside, I will have Norman Floyd Barnes joining us from Washington, District of Columbia. A very good morning to you, Norman. I want to begin today's discussion with you. Donald Trump has laid off his planned attacks for Iran. On the other side, we see that Saudi Arabia is gearing up with other nations in its coalition against Iran. Middle East tensions are at an all-time high, and we understand that energy markets may be soon feeling the brunt of this kind of decision making. Today is, of course, a Sunday, and tomorrow is Monday. That is when the U.S. markets will open for the week. I want to pass it to Norman Floyd Barnes. What are some of the updates that you see, and how do you analyze the current situation? A very good morning to you, Norman.
Good morning to all. Today, like I said, is Sunday. However, the world turns and things are happening around the world. President Trump has made a reversal in his announcement of attacking the infrastructure, the interior infrastructure of Iran, by stating that he will halt additional attacks on the infrastructure, while the Gulf states are now talking about a solution to the war, a ending of the war, and opening up the straits. He was approached by the Saudi prince Saturday, stating that they was concerned about retaliation of their infrastructure, on their infrastructure, by Iran if the U.S. continues with its attacks. So consequently, the president decided to halt the attacks to allow time for the Gulf states and Iran to work things out. So right now, the situation is at that point. A slowdown, basically a halt of attacks by the U.S. is now been is basically been suspended on hold, basically standing by in the staging area. While at the same time, the energy situation in the world is coming to a point. The strategic oil reserves are now reporting to be very low, getting low, and only several weeks out. China has the largest oil reserves right now. The United States still has the reserves, but we're looking at about 3 to 4 weeks as this situation continues. No resolution to the strait. The oil reserves are being depleted, and there's no idea exactly how that's going to happen, how that's going to affect the rest of the world. One thing is known is that with that announcement tomorrow, Monday, you will see impact on the prices of oil. If it hasn't already come out, the price of oil is going up, the stress is going up, and the situation has not improved. It's just been delayed. The attack's been delayed. But the effects is that we do not have any trade circulating around the world. Nothing is happening. So at the same time, we're still dealing with other issues here in the United States. We had in Spokane, Washington, we have a fire, a wildfire going on, just like other parts of the world is happening. And of course, we have another shooting, mass shooting in Idaho at a restaurant by a unnamed assailant. 3 people dead, 7 people injured. So as the world moves on, we're seeing basically things are still unstable. We have no definite answers on anything that's happening right now. The Ukraine Russia situation is intensifying, and they are talking about a peace resolution in Gaza that is yet to be seen. Yes, there's talks, but we do not have any indication that the Israeli military is going to move. So, what does that mean? Translate that. I have no idea what that means. Stall, peace, ceasefire, but no concrete movement towards progress. So there we go. We starting this is Sunday, and we wait to see exactly how these events unfold and what happens as a result.
Right, very interesting statements coming from Norman Floyd Barnes. Excellent opener to the program today. The discussion points remain very relevant. The U.S. President Donald Trump has said he has agreed to cancel the attack, as he said, and I quote, for the future benefit of the world and likewise the survival of a successful and prosperous Iran. These are the comments that he had made in the recent times in his cabinet meeting as well. I want to turn to Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. Really, there is ambiguity in the region in Middle East. Saudi Arabia is looking for a 14-nation multinational maritime defense. So that is just the steps that Saudi Arabia is taking out of the nations that have been attacked by Iran. Whereas we see Oman and the United Arab Emirates remain silent. They have not retaliated as of recent. But I want to ask you, just on a Sunday that these attacks were paused, if not halted, there will be scheduled later, but there is not any more information regards to Donald Trump. How do you analyze this kind of situation?
Thank you very much. Look, I think Mr. Trump is compelled to make a halt, make a pause, attacking Iran. Because there are reports that their armament, their ammunition has been exhausted. There is a report. So this war expenditure is definitely costing the welfare of the people. On the other side, 50% people of United States want Netanyahu to be arrested. So
Right.
this is another pressure. Because time and again we have said that US cannot take this burden, that US policymakers, especially the US president, is harboring, protecting a war criminal against whom a warrant order has been issued by International War Crime Tribunal. So the right thinking people of USA, which is about 50% as per the report, want the arrest of Netanyahu. And if this can happen, probably because of this pressure, now Trump has to say that world deserves a peace, a long-lasting peace. But well, this man cannot be trusted. This man do not have a sound mind. And what he sees, what he is speaking, and what he is meaning is very difficult to understand. He is a very unpredictable person, very idiosyncratic person. So before attacking the first time, this attack, there was another wave of attack previous 1 month before this attack.
Right.
He said that 2 weeks pause will be given. He is a spokesperson that in 2 weeks there will be no attack, and in 48 hours there had been attack. So you cannot really trust what a American president is saying. He does not mean it. This is clearly a blatant mistake, a mockery by a president, and that to a president of United States. So naturally the people are speaking against that. They are demonstrating, and 50% of the people want the President Trump should arrest Netanyahu. That is the solution. And you remember that John Kerry didn't Secretary of State, he made a peace deal with Iran that Iran will use nuclear power only for peaceful purpose. That was the best deal. Now this is coming up. That Mr. Trump is saying, first of all, we should not have gone for this attack, then bullying Mr. Trump, then now he's saying that we want peace. After doing so many things, you are coming to that position where the John Kerry reached. That probably that was the best deal, and I'm telling you, I'm seeing, this is my assessment, that finally Mr. Trump will be compelled to come for a peace deal, peace negotiation. He will have no other option because the fuel price is surging, people are demonstrating, and this all burden is going on the welfare of the people of USA. And long time, people of the USA will not tolerate this, and he will face it in the upcoming elections.
Of course, excellent statements as well from Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. Really, we were talking about the situation in the Middle East, and the upcoming elections seem to be the cornerstone of the political future of Donald Trump, and that is what I want to ask Norman Floyd Barnes. You see, there has been a travel warning by the State Department cautioning Americans in the Middle East whether they should consider departing now before any kind of escalation. As well, I want to ask you how you see the current pause in strikes, how you understand this. Of course, Donald Trump wants to have an off-ramp. We've been discussing this for a while. The midterms are coming in, and that is the main source of attraction. I want to get a comment from you. The axis of resistance, as they call it, we have the Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and what they have proven is that they can also have a maritime blockade of the Red Sea, and that is what is disrupting the economic cycles that the world really depends on. I want to ask you how you feel about this. Donald Trump's political future is definitely going to come from whether he is successful or not regarding Iran. Would you agree with me as well, Norman?
Yes, I will agree to a point, is that President Trump's and his administration are in a crisis mode right now. The country has engaged in a international conflict, the Middle East, that has not shown any type of progress, any type of reasoning, except draining of the American budget, the American economy. The citizens are now paying more. We are paying more at the pumps. We are paying more at the store. Everything is costing more. And at the same time, our allies, our neighbors in the Gulf region, is suffering from attacks, unknown attacks, uncontrollable attacks, and their future is in jeopardy because we have engaged with a country, Iran, and we have no way of controlling what they do. We have no way of controlling. We can attack the president, we can bombard them, we can bomb them to the point where they give up, but we have not seen that. We have not seen any indication that bombing will do that. History has shown bombing has not changed the outcome of any conflict. We tried it in Vietnam. We tried it in other places. You have to have ground troops over there to take over the area. That is something that I do not believe the American public or Congress or even the president is willing to do right now, because the narrative is not good. It would not be a good outcome, and it's something that we cannot sustain. Yes, you can go in, we can attack, we can take over, but we cannot maintain it. Because of the nature of the region, it would be impossible to sustain. So again, the situation has now created problems. Every time we take an action, there's a counteraction, a response, and someone is hurt, damaged, or destroyed. So the conversation is interesting that the Gulf states are now communicating and talking, like I mentioned before. The solution has to come from within the region. They have to decide how they're going to coexist, comfortably coexist. They may not like each other, but they have to have an understanding that the world is depending on this. Right now, the region, that whole region between the Red Sea and the Gulf is an energy corridor that is now being strategically strangling the rest of the world. We have a problem. The problem is that now, as part of the master plan, both trade water areas is being subject to being cut off, being delayed. So that will cause immeasurable harm to the rest of the world. Saudi would not be able to get us all out. The other parts of the world would not be able to get things in, and they would not be have China, for example, would not be able to get stuff in the region. However, China has a massive surplus of oil right now, oil reserves. Russia has oil reserves. We have oil reserves that last a period of time, but the rest of the world will suffer. As the president said, the world will go into bedlam.
Right.
We're going to a problem, a situation where everything will be out of control. So one problem will cause another one, and the next problem will be out of control. So there has to be somewhere, there has to be a point where we have to sit down, and people have to sit down, governments, leaders have to sit down and understand this is not working. We have to come to a conclusion. How we're going to do is this. It's not going to be a situation where we're going to destroy Iran present government and go in and take over, and the world be back like it was nice yesterday. No, it will cause more problems, more intense problems. Once you get people on land, it's hard to get them off alive. It's going to be a problem. You're not going to go in that area and take over and control it and maintain it. You may temporarily occupy it, but it's going to cause another problem. So now the rest of the world is now seeing exactly how this is going on. There's no evidence that Iran do not have ability to strike anywhere in the world. Let me say that again. There's no evidence that Iran do not have the abilities, resources, or connections to attack other parts of the world. So the Gulf states are aware of this. We do not know, we do not have the initial intelligence to say going in and defeating their government, their present government will do this. The country is not set up that way. The United States is set up there. We led by by Washington, but the rest of the world, and particularly that region, is not set up that way. So basically, you're talking about many wars, guerrilla warfare, guerrilla tactics, generationally going on. So this will open up what we call a Pandora's box. We have problems now. We're looking for hell later if we do that.
Right. Thanking Norman Flood Barnes. Excellent statements coming in from Washington, D.C. We must now proceed for a short commercial break. Afterwards, we'll be looking at a migration crisis that we've seen over the weekend. It is, of course, concerning Spain, who has been the World Cup winner. There has been massive influx of migrants that have been moving from Morocco to Spain with many casualties. It will be up for discussion. I request my audience to stay tuned for more on this very program. Welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Panta.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen,
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan
Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you all back on International Affairs. Today in the studio, I am joined with Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain as well as Norman Floyd Barnes, situated in Washington, D.C. And turning to the next story of discussion, I want to begin in the studio with Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. Very rarely we see this kind of migrant crisis in this time. Over the weekend, we have seen many thousands have moved from Morocco to a Spanish enclave on the border of Spain. Ceuta, as the name suggests, over 70,000 migrants ran into this channel, ran into this location, autonomous region of Spain. And of course, there has been a death toll, those who have drowned, those who have starved themselves with various conditions. It has risen to 67 according to the Interior Ministry of Spain. I want to ask you how you feel about this. Spain is the new World Cup winners. They have a political crisis with Israel. They do not see eye to eye regarding the Palestine conflict. Of course, they are supporters of Palestine and their right to statehood. So I want to ask you how you see Pedro Sanchez's government in handling of this migration crisis from Morocco to Spain, just over in Europe. How do you feel?
Okay, before coming to your question, let me put some more points on the earlier issue.
Sure.
Mr. Norman was talking about the ground attack.
Right.
The terrain of Iran is mostly very rocked, hilly. It's like Vietnam. So launching ground attack will be very, very costly for US. And the US military leaders do realize that, do understand that. That's why we have seen that
Yes.
few top military officials had to resign, not agreeing with Mr. Trump, right? So it look like if you go for the ground attack, your body bag will be more, it will be rising. More body bag going to US, more grievances of the people, more agitation of the people. So Trump is in a fix. In any side he goes, it goes against him. So it look like that Trump has already lost. And if there is any ground attack, the same fate what they have faced in Vietnam or Afghanistan, they are going to face the same consequence. So I think he's truly looking for a face-saving exit plan, face-saving, nothing more. So Trump is in real trouble with this attack against Iran. So coming to your point, Iran, Spain has some Muslim tradition, and winning in the World Cup, they have come to a prominence, come to a forefront. Now Spain has become a attractive place to live. So neighboring country Morocco and this crossing the strait, taking a dangerous journey for the good life in Spain. Probably they said that Spain will be developed very quickly and there will be a lot of investment, and as it has come to the forefront, so the young boys want to make their fortune crossing the strait, and as it happens, the death toll is coming. And we always see that the many migrants taking this dangerous route, going through the Mediterranean. Another destination is Italy. This is another destination. And always there are capsize of the boats, and we hear many death cases, and many Bangladeshi citizens also going with this very, very dangerous route from Libya to Italy and giving their lives. So what is the way out? The way out is to the developed country has a burden that you developed Africa. If Africa is developed, then the barrage of this migrant movement will be reduced.
Of course.
So the first world has the burden that not really plundering, not going for the minerals, develop the country, infrastructure, education, culture, all those. If they can really discharge this burden, then this migrant activities, the dangerous migrant movement may be reduced. Otherwise, this will be happening. This is ongoing, and this human trafficking is a very dangerous thing, and lot of these middle persons are making money.
Right.
So the estate, the failed estate like Libya and all other estate on the southern part of the Mediterranean is not able to control these criminal activities.
Of course.
This human trafficking. So this whole world has to address this issue.
Excellent remarks regarding the on-ground attacks if the U.S. administration plans it so in Iran, and of course this migrant crisis that we see from Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. And turning to Norman Floyd Barnes, I also want to get a remark from you regarding Spain. Let me also make it clear for our viewers that the city, the Spanish enclave that tens and thousands of migrants either swam or walked towards is still in very nearby Morocco than it is to mainland Spain. But what it really reveals is the political tensions that people have to face, especially Spain has to face from other European partners, especially like this kind of issue. It has at least left 67 people dead. Their bodies were pulled from the sea where they floated alongside abandoned rubber rings and flippers. However, most of these migrants have now gone back to Morocco, but this is a political standpoint. The Schengen visa requirements for Spain, whether or not they will be a part of it, is now a question. Political debates are now stemming from this very act of illegal migration. I want to pass it to Norman. How you feel about this? Spain has been a topic of discussion for much of the year, and this time around it is for migration that we see from Morocco. How do you analyze this situation, Norman?
Yes, the situation in Morocco is very troubling, and the reason is basically Spain, which is part of the EU, and we have noticed they're members of the EU, members of NATO, they're members of the EU. Now we have a situation where 50 to 60,000 Moroccan citizens chose yesterday, to, as the President Trump say, invade Spain. This small province of 85,000 people. We now have 60,000 people invading this area. And the question is why? Why now? Well, one of the topics is the internet has been crazy, putting out information. And there was a recent law passed in Spain stating that if someone tries to breach, there's a fence, there's a barrier right there, breach it, they are by law immediately required to send them back to their country. However, if they come into the country by other means, this case, swimming around the fence into the water, they will have to be going through a process before they are sent back home. They can get asylum. There is a process. And some people say once they're there, they can stay. They are part of Spain. So what you see, 60,000 people swimming around the barrier, getting into an area, looking for an opportunity to do what they say a better life. Well, they got over there, and 49,000 of the 69,000 found out, well, guys, this is not better. So they decided to go back on their own accord. But whatever happened to the other 19, 20,000 people who came over? They have to go through the legal process now of getting asylum, whatever. And now this also causes stress on the infrastructure and the ability of that area to take care of them. That part of the country, that isolated area, do not have the resources to maintain the facility. So now we have an erosion of their critical infrastructure, which has caused problems. In the meantime, Italy and other countries have now closed their borders to Spain, which is now, again, we're seeing an erosion, a degradation of Spain's impact, Spain's involvement with the EU. So I see problems coming up because this was day one. So they have not solved the problem. They have now created a situation where now, yes, people continue to try to come. There'll be more breaches. There'll be more attempts. And there will be other issues going on with Europe. So countries are now hardening up their borders because they now see basically people will now immigrate into their countries in large masses. So 60,000 came through, 49 went back. So we got a large number of people already there. They were successful in their breach. So you're going to see Europe, France, other places like that look at the policies on how we secure our borders. And the law's going to change. The reaction is going to change. The relationship is going to change now within the region because of this act. This is, some people say it was designed by that way by profit-making human traffickers, but I see a more sinister road in this. Something else is going on, just like the wildfires.
Right, and as Norman was stating, something sinister was going on. Let me also add on to his statement that the state, the autonomous city, Ceuta, that was bombarded with so many migrants, actually is a territory that is geographically belonging to Northern Africa. However, it is a Spanish territory. It is not on mainland Spain. So there is the political debate. There is the geopolitical debate I see stemming from this issue. Just a comment from Barrister Sarwar Hussain. Do you believe that because of such issues, in the coming days, Spain will have to rethink its relationship with its immediate neighbors? We have Italy under Meloni, who is already stating that this was a violation of some kind from Spain's end. But it was Moroccans that had chosen to go to the the most northern part of their continent, which is, of course, belonging to Spain once again. I want to get a comment before I can go for a break.
Yeah, it looked like that Spain will be forced to make some decision to stop entering the illegal immigrants, because that will definitely make an uneasy situation within. And if you remember, there was a similar movement a few months or before 1 or 2 years back. The movement was from Honduras, and it was from Nicaragua, Honduras, Costa Rica, a caravan of migrants going up to the border of US from the Mexican. They could not enter. They were, and you said that people are moving with their small luggage so far they can carry on their shoulder, and there have been thousands. So these movements not only in Morocco, it happened also in America. In South America wants to enter to USA. So USA took a very tougher actions, tougher policy. So Spain might be, they will be tough, so that this type of illegal migration cannot enter in their mainland, and thereby creating some problem. Yeah.
Right. Once again, from Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain, very important to understand where the world lies in relative terms to territories and various borders demarcated, human man-made borders that have been separating cultures, separating ethnicities. Of course, the Strait of Gibraltar is where this situation is happening. It is what connects both Europe with Northern Africa. There is various immigration crises from around the world. Let me end this segment by providing an example. Because of the warlike situation in Myanmar with rebel forces, many Myanmar people, the Burmese, have taken shelter in a border town in western Thailand called Mae Sot. Of course, this time around, it would be induced by warlike situation in Myanmar. Only as an example of migration, this is a worldwide issue that we are all facing, let alone here in Bangladesh. We've had our own migration problem in the south with people from the Rohingya community coming into Bangladesh. So migration will be one of the more important topics that we discuss on this very program. With that being said, it's time to take a commercial break. Do stay tuned.
Opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Welcoming our viewers to the very last segment of International Affairs. We were, of course, joined by Norman from Washington, D.C. And here in the studio, I have Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. Really, as a nation from Asia, Bangladesh has joined the coalition, the maritime defense, with 14 other nations with Saudi Arabia. I want to ask you, sir, how you see this situation. Let me also read out the 14 other members who have joined this coalition. Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Jordan, Egypt, Pakistan, Djibouti, Somalia, Yemen, Sudan and Nigeria. And of course, Bangladesh has joined in this Maritime Defense Cooperation in the Red Sea. It will seek to open the Red Sea and of course look towards the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. It's a very important trade route which the Houthis have blocked. As well as over the weekend, we have seen the U.S. Special Envoy Sergio Gore visiting the Rohingya camps, visiting strategic points here in Bangladesh. I want to ask you how you feel about his visit, given the time that Bangladesh also finds itself in a geopolitical mess. Why I say this is because we are actually surrounded by powers that supersede our nation. In the north, we have China. Towards the west, we have India. Towards the east, there is Myanmar going on an ongoing military conflict. So really, what kind of prospectus we can expect in the coming days?
Yeah, look, sometimes the making foreign policy decisions is very challenging. And these challenges sometimes do not match with the expectation of the people. When Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, the Bangladeshi people, most of them thought that Bangladesh should take side with Saddam Hussein, Iraq, because of the Muslim sentiment. But there had been an American-led coalition where Bangladesh joined with the American-led coalition to clear off Kuwait from the occupation. So that appeared, that decision was taken by President Ershad. That decision was one of the landmark foreign policy that has opened up the international avenue for the peacekeepers of Bangladesh. So here also, America and this Saudi Arabia, all those, this maritime alliance has come up.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday.
And if 300,000 Rohingyas are taken back, that will be a good step to repatriate these Rohingyas, refugees from Bangladesh. By any means, we must solve this problem, giving them an opportunity, making the situation so that all the Rohingyas are going to their motherland. No Rohingya, not a single person should stay in Bangladesh, because it has created an imbalance in the environment and in the locality.
Of course.
This is a big problem for Bangladesh, and if from this 15 lakhs Rohingyas, if 3 lakhs is going, that is a situation, a bit. So that may be a good beginning. We hope that this happens, and Bangladesh government must clear to the people whether this is a fact. When Mr. Anwar Ibrahim has said there is some substance, we believe this might happen. So how Bangladesh government is pursuing that, there will be counter force against that. So Bangladesh government must pursue this opportunity, sending back 3 lakhs Rohingyas to Myanmar again. And Mr. Sergio has come. You know, we heard some official briefing that there a investor group is coming.
Right.
So I think this Saudi-led alliance and this repartition of the Rohingya, this might have a link in his visit.
Right.
But what is more important, that the America, if engaged in Bangladesh, I think that will be a good thing for upholding the democracy, rule of law and justice. And we must get the good office of USA to solve this Rohingya problem as soon as we can.
Of course, and I really thank you, Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. Excellent remarks regarding international and national issues, especially as we compare the Moroccan migration crisis with the Rohingya crisis that we see. Of course, very spanning situations, but with the same intent of migration. I thank you for your contribution towards this program and your valuable insights, as well as Norman Floyd Barnes. I thank him for joining on today's International Affairs. I want to finish the program today by stating a historical fact. On this very day, 2nd of August, in 1990, Iraq had invaded Kuwait, which had triggered the Persian Gulf War. With that being stated, I am signing off on International Affairs. I shall be with you all on tomorrow's program.